What's going on there today, scrollers? This is going to be a little short video on lawnmower maintenance, or should I say the lack of lawnmower maintenance. Had somebody get a hold of me, said that their zero turn, the PTO wouldn't kick in, turned the blades, and that they checked the belts, and that was the best they could do to their ability was check to make sure the belts was in good shape. So they wanted me to come check that first and bring it here and check it. So I went and got it, brought it here. The PTO would not kick in by switch. Ran good. I mean, moves under its own power, but it just wouldn't kick in. So, long story short, I unhooked the PTO wire from the harness, checked, had 3 ohms. If any of you guys know anything about how to check a PTO, if it's between 3 and 5 ohms, it's usually okay. Checked 3.1 ohms. So it showed that it was good. Checked the wiring harness with the switch turned on, showed right at 12 volts. So in all theory, it should have worked. When it gets powered back to the PTO, it should have kicked on, but it didn't. So I run a jumper wires straight from the battery down to the PTO switch, or the PTO connection, and hit it, and it made a click. So the PTO was stuck. So tried it 2 or 3 times, clicked on and off, on and off. So I knew that it was working by direct power. So I hooked it back up, and sure enough, the switch made it kick on. So I contacted the people and I told them, I said, listen, this is the issue. Got it fixed. Your air filter is in bad shape, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean here in a second. But I said you need a service, and I said it's bad. So they said, well, go ahead and go ahead and service it, change oil, do whatever you need to do to it. And I said, okay. So I go by, I look online trying to find the maintenance kit to do the motors, and $63, I think, and change with tax, or I mean plus tax to get for the kit. So anyway, nobody had it in stock. So I went by the Kubota dealer. This is a Kubota Commander Z122R. So go by the dealership and ask them. I said, "You got a maintenance kit for that?" "Oh yeah, we got one. All right." $99 and change, like 15 cents. It was 99.85, like 15 cents to be at $100 for a maintenance kit, which comes with 2 quarts of oil, oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, and spark plugs. So they're proud of it. And while I was there, I asked them, I said, hey, you just out of curiosity, what y'all charge for a service job? Well, we charge an hour and a half for labor plus materials. I said, what's y'all's labor rate? $125 an hour. I said, what? 125 an hour and an hour and a half? And they said, yeah, if we do the transmission, said that's another hour's labor. I said, oh, well, maybe I'm undercharging. But regardless, they get the same service here as they do at the dealership. Just, it ain't gonna, I don't have Kubota over my door. But take a look at this mower, and I'm gonna show you something. So here's our Kubota zero turn. It's seat padding is all missing off of it. They got a cushion there instead of buying a pad. They just sit with their back against a hard plastic piece. But take a look at this right here. Would you just look at that? Look, just take one look at that. And I thought, my goodness, that's awful dirty. I wonder why. Why is that so dirty? Then I moved around here, and I looked down here at this oil filter. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but the last time that the oil filter was changed, 3/8 of 22. Folks, stop and think about that. That is 4 years and 1 month, basically, that this mower has not had an oil change, an air filter, a fuel filter, or anything. And as you can see here, deck looks really nice. They blow it off every time, as you can tell. There's probably grass on there from 1985. But anyway, 311 hours on this mower, and been 4 years without an oil change. Now just stop and think about that. So we thought that the filter was bad on the front side or on the top side. I want you to look here at the junk down in here. But I want you to look at the bottom of this right here. It's probably the worst I've ever seen. This it's matted together. There's no way that could suck air through that. Then underneath of it, all this rust. I can't only imagine what the inside of this filter looks like. Crazy. I just wanted to shoot a little into this video. I took the motor back yesterday and got busy and didn't record anything on it after what I showed you. Actually, this video's been about 3 days in the making. So, but the end of the video, the two front tires was getting down. They had little holes in them on those slick tires for zero turns, and they're called wear indicators. And what happens is when that hole gets where it starts to disappear and it gets real close to disappear, that's an indication that the tire needs to be changed. Plus, it had just a little bit of dry rot on it too. So, went ahead and replaced those two tires. The back tires was really dry rotted. So I ended up trying to buy a set of tires for the back. Well, your major Tractor Supply, Rural King in our area, different places like that didn't carry that size. It was an 18 by 7.5 by 10, and that's actually brand specific to Kubota. So, and Cub Cadet done it for a few years, but you could buy the tires for right at $90 a piece plus tax. Then just the bare tire, you have to have the other one taken off and put on, and that's $20. So I mean, it ends up being quite more money on top of that. So what I did find is a set of tires mounted already on Kubota wheels on Amazon. They were 90 or 199.99, I guess $200 for those set of wheels. Comes already mounted. The only thing you got to do is stick them on, 4 lug nuts on each side, and you put them on. So that was the cheaper alternative to just buying the tire and sticking them on. So got those ordered, waiting on them to come in. I'll just take them over to where the mower's at and just jack it up and put them on there in the driveway because he's keeping the old ones anyway. So it'd be easier to do that than it would be to drag it all the way back here to the shop and put them on and then take it back. So anyway, that was the end of it. But just like I said before, keep your maintenance up on these mowers because or on anything, motorcycles, 4 wheelers, cars. It don't matter. Make sure you keep your oil changed, your filters checked, and things like that. Because in the long run, it's going to cost you a lot more money if you don't keep it maintenance than what it would if you go ahead and do it. One other thing about maintenance and about mowers and small engines, even motorcycles, ATVs, things like that. Towards the end of the year, when you know you're going to be riding or mowing or using them for the last few times, um, get them down real low on gas and go find a place that has non-ethanol gas. It's more expensive to buy non-ethanol, but the ethanol is the death of these small engines. And if you will run that non-ethanol a couple tanks through it before you store it for winter, when you get it out next year, the only thing you do is get on it and fire it up and it's ready to go. This non-ethanol stuff, when it sits in a carburetor or in a fuel tank or in fuel lines, it disintegrates the fuel lines, and also on anything metal it leaves a residue, like a white chalky residue. Sometimes it's yellow, but that stuff will get in your carburetor and stop it up, and then you got to bring somebody like me who can take carburetor off and clean it or just replace the carburetor. So just food for thought. So we'll end this video and maybe we'll pick up on the next one and see what comes in. Y'all have a good day.